What's up? What's up? All right. Well, we are going to dig in today, starting with a small crowd. We'll see how it grows, but if not, we'll have some time for some questions today. All right. Well, welcome to cooking up mistakes. Cooking up success. We're talking about rookie mistakes today. So speaking of mistakes, I'm starting off with a good one. Not even knowing the title of today's topic. All right, let me rearrange this so I can see the chat. Go. Okay. All right. Well, y'all, how are you today? I am cold. This whole country, I think, is probably cold today. Oh, Arctic blast. Well, as I mentioned before, today we're talking about rookie mistakes. And I've been doing a series kind of interspersed over on the gram called Rookie Mistakes, and that's been a pretty big hit. And I'm actually going to build it out a little bit and make an entire season for my podcast about rookie mistakes. So you guys seem to be digging some of the content. I'd love your feedback so that as I do build out the podcast episodes, I can use your takeaways. It's always appreciated. Today we're talking about leaving money on the table. So if you are new around here or just need a refresher, my name is Michelle Lynn, and I am the owner of ML Interiors Group, which is a 7-figure award-winning interior design firm in Dallas, Texas. I have been featured in Forbes, Southern Living, Modern Luxury, Martha Stewart, Home and Garden, and a handful of other publications over the course of time designing as well as the time coaching. I am a trusted advisor to small business owners in interior design. So coaching and designing are pretty much where I spend most of my time, other than my family, of course. I serve designers in the coaching arena who have achieved 5 figures in revenue and want to scale to multiple 6 figures, both with profit and with passion. Because you can scale to multiple 6 figures and not bring much money home, and that sucks. You can scale to multiple 6 figures and not have a life, and that sucks. But I am the living embodiment, and I've taught hundreds of other designers how to balance that. And well, I mentioned we were doing the rookie mistakes over on the gram. Follow me over there. If you're not already following, it's designed for the creative mind, and make sure you say hello. So reach out to say hello. I love seeing the work that you guys are doing via Instagram and just having that additional layer of exchange. So it's not just me here talking at you. So for those of you here on the Zoom, tell me in the chat how long you've been a designer, just so I kind of have an understanding who we're talking to. All right, not everybody at once. So this is our question. Why is it so hard to make a decent living as an interior designer? Hi, Corinne. Good to see you. Hello. There you are. Good. Angie, Laura. Okay, good. Okay. Why is it so hard to make money or a decent living as an interior designer? And after talking to hundreds of y'all and doing this myself for, gosh, it's been since 2008, pretty much, full-time, really solid since 10, and then focused as interior design. It's been a little over a decade for that. But for me and what I've seen, Angie's been here for 2 years. Thanks, babe. I appreciate that insight. What I've seen is that we leave a lot of money on the table. Sometimes it's because we're people pleasing, and sometimes it's because we don't know better. So it's truly a struggle to approach something that you're so good at, interior design, and passionate about, with the business mindset of it, because we're so, like, the business mindset's the left brain, the creative is the right brain, and oftentimes we're just led with that creativity. So when I coach designers in the Interior Design Business Bakery, which is my signature program, one of the first things we look, well, it's not, one of the key things that we look at is pricing and revenue. Okay. And then I have another program it's currently called the Sugar and Spice Society. We might be renaming that, but the Sugar and Spice Society is focused on marketing, a little bit of pricing, sales, so that you can bring that revenue in. Okay. There are so many ways that we can leave money on the table. We're going to go through some of the key ones. Lisa. Yes, it's true. Oh, that's funny. I've been doing this forever, but I finally decided to get paid for it. She was brilliant and cute. Whoever told you that, Lisa, I happen to know. So let's talk about some of the ways that we're leaving money on the table. And that is strictly with our basic pricing model. And that is the difference between a flat fee and an hourly rate. I was charging hourly for years. Okay. And embarrassingly, some of you might have heard this, is I was charging $75 an hour. And granted, it was a while ago, but still $75 an hour, and like shopping at Home Goods and sending a text picture of, is this what you like? Is this what you like? It was basically, I was a glorified personal shopper. Once I figured out how to charge a flat fee, I never went back. Because one is, when you're charging hourly, the faster you get at your job, the less money you make. Okay, so there's that. And that, when I realized that, or somebody mentioned it, I was like, so I was getting pretty good at what I was doing as I was up leveling my service deliverables. But then, yeah, I was getting faster because there's only so much per hour that you can say out loud and tell a client that that's what you're charging. So when we went to a flat fee, clients really dug that. They still do. They totally dig it, because it's kind of like your cell phone, right? I don't know. Do you guys remember when we used to pay by the minute? Like you would prepay X number of minutes, or you would just be charged by the minute. You never knew if your bill was going to be $8 million or $8. Or if your kid accidentally got on it and like was talking to their friends, it would be unexpected. So, I mean, that always sucks. Like, what am I going to pay this month? Same thing with our clients. So when I started charging a flat fee and they knew it was just going to be X number of dollars, well, then they could budget for that. And even though I was very often uncomfortable until I got used to asking for so much money, they weren't, because they knew that's what it was going to cost. Oftentimes, our clients who are in this more luxury bracket, it's not as much about how much it is, it's about the unknown. So that is a way to leave money on the table, because if you are faster, but you're charging enough, then what you're not spending in your number of hours is pure profit. So that means that you need to be tracking your hours. You can't charge a flat fee and not track your hours. The difference is that you don't have to be as exact, and you don't have to wonder, oh, am I going to send him the bill because it took me so long? Okay. But also, how do you bill for the time you're thinking about the project in the shower? So you're still tracking the time so that you can use that data to adjust your pricing. And that's a lot of what we teach in the Interior Design Business Bakery and in the key ingredients. But in addition to that, something that you need to keep in mind that is just feels backwards is that if everyone is saying yes to your pricing and your proposals, then it is time to raise your rates. Okay, it's totally time to raise your rates. My rechargeable Amazon lights, these are fantastic. So those are the three key points when it comes to pricing. Flat fee versus hourly. Track your time and adjust for future jobs. And if everybody is saying yes to your proposals, it's time to raise your rates. Your goal, you want to celebrate when somebody says, no, you cost too much, because that means that you're bumping up to that level. Okay. I can pretty much write, these are all my rookie mistakes. Okay. I feel good because I've seen them in others. So I wasn't a complete loser, and neither are you have been doing any of this. This is just collectively what I see a lot. But passing along discounts. How many of you guys have had somebody say, you know, are you going to pass along my discount? Or hey, like, how do you charge? Do I get part of your discount? I heard that quite a bit, and I know some of y'all do too. Yeah, so there's Mara. She hears it all the time. Let me just tell you, you do not get discounts. This is what you explain to the client, is that I don't get discounts. I buy to the trade and I buy wholesale, but I don't get discounts. And here's why. Because you want to buy from the trade and not from retail. Okay, so I have these two sections about how you leave money on the table, and they interchange. Okay, so one, passing along discounts. Let me ask you this. When you go to let's say you go out to eat, okay, and you're ordering, I don't know, salmon. You're not asking the server or the manager or the chef, how much did they buy that 6 ounces of salmon for? And can you get part of the discount? No, that's how the business makes money. Okay, you don't go to Pottery Barn and ask them how much they paid for their sofa and then ask for a discount. So you need to frame this in your mind that when a client asks you, you don't get discounts. One of the things that I teach, we do it in a free workshop, but we also teach it in my paid programs in more detail, is the meet and greet, which is what I call the secret ingredient in between the discovery call and the initial visit, is that you explain to them and you show them on screen that the meet and greet, that your revenue streams, like my revenue stream and profit comes from the design fee, and also the selling of the furniture. So I tell them straight up. I tell them straight up exactly what it comes from. And then again, if the client asks, do I get part of your discount? You can again just say, I don't get a discount. I buy to the trade from wholesale vendors. Okay, does that, and we're going to talk about buying from the trade versus retail. Does that make sense to y'all? Because I know that a lot of us come up against that. And I still get those questions on occasion. Just because you say no does not mean you're going to lose that project. Now, I know there are some designers who pass on a lot of their discounts, okay, or no, rephrase that, a lot of their pricing. They pass that on to their clients. The only ones that are successful doing that is when they repeatedly give the same look from the same vendors to their clients. So you can look at their pictures and say, oh, she did that. Oh, she did that. She did that. It's because she's getting such a good pricing from those vendors. And it's just rinse and repeat. They're using the same things over and over. If you want to do that, rock on, because that's what I call a churn and burn design. And she can afford to do that. She's not giving them all of her pricing, but she's giving them a good bit, and she pitches, and I say she, I'm talking about somebody specific, but I know there's other designers who do it. But she also pitches it. It's like, hey, the amount of money you're going to save in buying furniture from me is going to make up for the design fee. It's a model. It's a model. I don't think it's sustainable because you have to stay busy all the time. And it's churn and burn. She's got a big team. You know, I'm not disparaging that. It's just a different business model. Okay, so there's that. Now, I am going to say, here's a gratuitous plug. We have this little kit that I call the secret ingredients. We sell it for 27 bucks. It comes with our meet and greet. Hallie, what else does it come with? Slide decks, recordings of the meet and greet.
And the rolling in the dough workshop.
Rolling in the dough workshop. And it's just a little Kickstarter. So if you guys are wondering, if you haven't been able to be at the workshop, it has all the slide decks, all the stuff from the workshop. So if you're interested, Hallie just dropped that in there. Angie asked, when you're selling the furniture, are you taking responsibility and liabilities on the items if damaged? No. So Angie, that's a great question. In your contract, you're basically taking away your liability. If it shows up damaged, you'll help get it fixed, but you don't own it. If it shows up wrong, you'll get the issue addressed, but you don't own it. The client owns it. Shipping logistics, you're not handling the freight. You're telling the vendor, hey, use your favorite carrier. This is where I want it delivered. The client pays for the freight. The client pays for the receiving, all the things. So it's not as scary as it may feel. Okay. So again, a lot of what you're doing is you are educating the client. It's really important. And that's why it made me think of the secret ingredient, this little kit that we have, is because the meet and greet and the entire process of selling the client through the moment they call you, through the moment of the contract being sold, it's educating them. It's educating them that you don't get discounts. It's educating them on your process, on your procedure, on how you make money, on where they get the benefit of working with an interior designer and so forth. So it's not as overwhelming as just saying no. Okay, let's talk about buying from the trade versus retail. Buying from the trade is a freaking game changer for your business. And it's not as scary as you would think. For one, the showrooms are there to help you. I think so many of us are intimidated to walk into market or to walk into a to the trade showroom and think that we're supposed to know what the hell we're doing when we have no clue. Am I alone here? I was intimidated as all get out to walk into a showroom. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to ask for help. I was feeling like an imposter. Okay. So if you've ever felt that way, give me a howdy, give me a raised hand, give me a yes in the chat. Thank you. So it's so true. Chanel, Larissa, it's crazy. Okay. Let me just tell you that these showrooms, 99% of them and their team are so welcoming and so helpful, and they just want to serve you. You are their client. Okay. So when you do get to market or when you do go to your local showrooms, just know that they're there to help you. And you ask questions. What's your pricing structure? Okay, use that term. What's your pricing structure? How does your pricing work? Because every showroom's different. Okay, and they know that. So asking them that does not show your sign of ignorance. It shows that you want to work with them. Okay, now why is buying trade a game changer? Here, let's do the math, shall we? If you go to Pottery Barn and you get what they have as their discount, okay, to the trade discount, I think is exactly what it says on the website, which is why our clients think that's what we get. Ready? You buy a sofa. It's $5,000. Easy peasy, medium sofa, nothing too fancy. You get 20% discount. Okay, so you do 20%. That's $1,000. So let's say you're not passing that on to your client. You're keeping that $1,000, right? Which is what you should be doing because that's how you make a profit. Okay. Yeah, it's true, Andy. I've got my calculator out. It's also because I don't do math very well in my head. So there we go. We've got that. Okay, so that same $5,000 sofa, right? You go to a showroom, and let's say you're paying and don't. So this is a little hinky. 5,000, 2,000. So let's say you're selling it to the client at 5,000. You're buying it at 2,500. Okay, so you're buying it at 50% off more often than not. So I do not do mental math. It's true, Hallie. She's seen me on many of these occasions. So $5,000 to your client. Okay, you charge them 5,000. You go to Pottery Barn, you keep $1,000 of it. You go to the trade showroom, you charge your client 5,000. You're keeping 2,500. So is that 150% more than if you bought it at Pottery Barn? I don't know. Again, my mental math is not so great, but it seems like it. But 2,500 versus 1,000. That's $1,500 more. You have to work less and make more money. Do you guys see how buying from the trade versus retail changes the game? Okay, you need to get a resale certificate, different things from your state, sales and use certificate, whatever that is. Yes, you set this tax aside to pay that later. That's exactly right, Laura. You can have a separate bank account for it. Prepaid tax. Okay. Here's another little tip. So you can have a prepaid tax. Okay, like it should be sales tax, it can be your income tax, it can be all the taxes. Okay, that's fine. What I do is I just put a prepaid bank account. I have my operations account and a prepaid. Now I do have a separate tax account, separate altogether, but that's income tax and different. I just drop everything in there. So when I tell the client it's $5,000, okay, 2,500 over here for you, 2,500 over here for me, plus the tax. And then when I go to pay the vendor, because you get paid before you purchase, then you just pay out of that prepaid account. Okay, or you pay your credit card off with that prepaid account. So it's pretty straightforward. Okay, last but not least is scope creep. Another way to leave money on the table is when you have told the client, hey, here's like, this is what you should be doing. This is what we talk about in the secret ingredient kit, and in the interior design business bakery and the key ingredients and stuff like that. But what this is you create a scope of work, you get the contract signed. That scope of work is exactly what you're doing. You're not going to do more, you're not going to do less. That is exactly what you've agreed to as an exchange for payment. It goes back to the restaurant. You get the 6-ounce piece of salmon for X number of dollars. You're not getting 8 ounces, you're not getting 4 ounces. This is what you're getting. So if somebody says, hey, while you're out here, okay, so you're out there getting measurements for their living room and their dining room and their entryway, is what the scope is. And they're like, hey, while you're out here, take a look at my powder bathroom and tell me what you think I should do. Okay, super sweet. They're really not trying to be assholes about it, but you're not getting paid for it. You're leaving money on the table. You see, rookie mistake, leaving money on the table. So here's what you would do if the scope is creeping. Okay, I would love to tell you, I'd love to give you some ideas for your bathroom. Do you want me to write up another scope of work? That's it. You're not being an asshole back to them. You're just saying, I'd love to do that, but you're going to pay me for it in a much nicer professional way. Okay. So just remember that as you're going through your projects, your business, you're here to make money, honey. This is not charity. And if you're having those conversations in your head, we've talked about this. I call mine the committee. I've got so many voices in my head that are telling me that I'm not good enough, or I'm not worth it, or I wouldn't pay that much money for it. Why would they? Okay. Remember that you're not charging your worth. You are not charging your worth because, babe, you are a child of God and your worth is not tied to your business. Okay, can we get an amen for that? You are not charging your worth. You are charging for the services that you provide and the value that you bring to the project. Okay, remember that you design spaces that allow people to begin and end their day as their best selves. which means that they're probably better selves during the middle of the day too. Couldn't we all use better selves on this earth? So basically you're contributing to world peace. Okay, so you're you're not trading your time for your money, you're getting paid for the work that you're doing. So again, just get out of your head, don't tie your money stories to your clients. And speaking of money stories, let me just call some of y'all out on this. Some of you have money stories that have kept you from hiring some help. And what I mean by that is not an assistant. I mean hiring a business coach or a business mentor. Now, I see some familiar faces on here because you are in one or more of my programs. And for that, I commend you. I mean, you should be really proud of yourself for the fact that you have believed in yourself enough to invest in the business of design. Because you know what? When you invest in your business, you're investing in yourself. It's an interesting stair step that I've watched. It's a ladder that you take a step in your business up, and then you bring yourself up. And then your business goes up, and then yourself goes up because we are tied together. Okay? So if you have been circling in my little world here and catching a lot of the free stuff, you think the free stuff is good, just imagine what you get when you work with me in one of my mentorship or coaching programs. Okay, I'm giving you a pitch right here. I practice what I preach. You need to sell yourself. Okay, what I have to offer to you is some stuff that I am so damn proud of, and I've seen it change hundreds of interior designers' lives. I have my signature program, which is the Interior Design Business Bakery, which is a 12-month program with the entire freaking kitchen, the whole bakery, the recipe, the kitchen sink to launch your business 5 years into the future and into a multiple six-figure revenue. Okay. I have what we call the diet bakery. Okay. It's called the key ingredients. We've taken the business bakery, started as the key ingredients, and it just grew. It morphed. It's gotten more of an investment. Okay. It gives you more of a return. But going back to my roots, when I first started coaching, the key ingredients are what we started with. And it's the bakery light. It's another year program, but you get what you need to launch your business a couple years into the future. Okay. The Sugar and Spice Society, again, we may be renaming this to be a little bit more strategic because it's based on sales and marketing with a hint of pricing. The goal is to make some money so that you can invest in the next level of coaching, whether it's with me, which I would love, but it needs to be somebody. You must invest in yourself. So Christine, I'm really glad that you can see that parallel. You're investing in yourself by investing in your business. And it's weird, you have to do the inside work personally in order for the professional to grow. So we have a lot of mindset work that we do. Okay, we have a lot of reflection and a lot of research that we do as well. So Interior Design Business Bakery, the key ingredients designed from scratch, Sugar and Spice. These are all business related programs. And then something that can go in tandem with some of these as just kind of like a little add-on, or it can stand alone, is what I call Design from Scratch. This is a 6-month program. Okay, it's more like a course. These other ones are programs. This Design from Scratch is more like a course if you want to increase your interior design knowledge and skills. There's no business in it, but if you didn't go to school for this stuff, the reason we created it is to give you a little bit more confidence, to have you be able to walk into a room with a little bit more strut, okay, so that you understand some of the nuances of design. It's to teach you, here's how you draw a floor plan. Here's how you can do some drafting. Here are some of the key terminology phrases that you would want to know. So for example, when I first started, I had a fabric rep come and talk to me about memos. I'll give you memos. We do this and memo that and memo that and memo this. I was like, it's a memo. I had no idea what a memo was. So it just gives you that additional level of confidence and clarity. So we have all of that. I've got some other options. You're here with me in the Interior Designers Business Launchpad. I've got the podcast. I've got the blogs, the Cooking Up Success, the YouTube. I've got all the free stuff. But take some time and reflect. Where do you want to be in the future? Do you want to be patching all this free shit together and taking the long road to success? If so, that's what I did. I mean, because back when I was starting, there wasn't anybody teaching this stuff. Not really. So anyway, I just want to offer that to you guys. I'm here to give you all the free stuff I can. I love being here with you. I appreciate you being here with me, but I would be really kind of an asshole if I didn't tell you that there's more. Okay. So, going back to, a sermon that I heard years ago is, it was Penn and Teller. Actually, I think it was Penn and Teller, from Vegas. And they're, whoever, I think it was Penn. But anyway, he's an atheist, right? But one of the things that I saw him say, he was talking about how much do you have to, if you really believe in something, how much do you have to hate somebody to not share it with them? And he was talking about the gospel. Okay, he was talking about Jesus and stuff like that. Like, how much would I have to hate somebody to not share this? It's the same. I'm not saying my programs are like Jesus, y'all, but I'm saying that I love you guys enough to share that there's another option. You don't have to do it all on your own. So in that respect, if you are interested in learning more, you can email Hallie, hello@Design for the Creative Mind. We can set up a phone call. She can answer a ton of your questions. Okay. And if you're interested in pursuing the interior design business bakery, then you and I can set up a call and I can make sure that this is for you. Okay. Hallie can answer all the other questions in a heartbeat, probably twice on Sunday, faster than I can. So come join us. Hallie, what are we talking about next week in the Cooking Up Success?
Hold on, let me pull it up. There's a question in the chat about why would someone buy from you knowing you get a discount? Don't they want to buy straight from a shopping list?
So, Alan, that's a great question. Let me tell you, when I was growing my business, I did pass along some of my trade pricing. I never called it well, I did call it a discount for a while, but I don't anymore. We call it perks. We call it trade pricing. I would pass on a little bit until I got the cojones to say, nope, I don't pass on any. Okay, so for a few years, I would pass them on. So I would basically tell the client, hey, listen, if I buy it, and I get, I'll give you part of my pricing. I'll give you part of my trade pricing. I wouldn't tell them how much, but it would be less than retail. Now I can still basically sell less than retail for a lot of my products, or it's at or about. And why would the client pay us full market price if they know we get some discount? Another thing, Alan, is that a lot of our clients, as you learn and target the right market, our clients are not looking to save money, they're looking to save time. They value time because they are busy professionals and they're willing to write the check to know that it's done right and to save them time. Once we get our brain around that, those money stories are different. Okay, they want to know that we're going to get it done well and that it's going to save them time. Same thing, like I could change my tire. I can change tires, right? But do I want to rotate mine? No, I'm going to take them down the road and have somebody else do it because they have the right tools. They're going to be faster at it and it's going to save me a headache. So it's similar in that manner. Okay, so there's a variety of reasons, but don't hesitate to pass on some of your pricing because again, like we were talking about earlier, and Christine had that little epiphany, you get more sophisticated, your business and your clients get more sophisticated. You get more sophisticated, they get more sophisticated, and it goes like this. And no, you don't take on liability on damage delay regarding deliveries. Zero. I'm not sure if you've heard that somewhere. Maybe it was on a podcast or somebody was talking about it or somebody had a bad experience. Let me just tell you from my years of experience and my professional authority, because you don't take on liability, damage, or delay when you write it into your contract. Okay, same thing, because what happens if they buy an expensive pillow from you and their cat pees on it and they try to return it to you? No, that doesn't count. Okay. Or what if the fabric pills? Okay, it's not supposed to pill. Like Cozy Earth has these fabulous sheets, they're not supposed to pill. They'll replace it. Okay, but as the person who's selling it to them, you're not liable for it. Okay, so go back to where that fear has originated and erase it. Erase it. Because that fear is leaving a lot of money on the table. And if you have questions about that, that would be a really good podcast. We might just do a podcast on that. All right, y'all. With that, we are like way over time, but I love talking about these things. Love it. If you guys have questions, please continue to stay in touch. Follow along Design for the Creative Mind Instagram, say hello, let's engage, let's have some fun. Podcast on that for sure. And then how else can we stay in touch? Hallie, we've got the text. Drop the
Yeah.
text. Y'all, we've got this fun little text line where we send out little nuggets of wisdom, little tips, little encouragement a couple times a week. So I'd love to stay in touch with you there. However, don't text back because I don't answer. It's just a little overstimulating. So updates will keep you posted. Or bestie, you can also use the word bestie.
Right.
Yeah, that's more fun, Hals. Do design bestie. All right, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week talking about 4 phases to every design project. Peace out.